It's just a Republican House. It's just a worse Congress with which to play this game. I mean, it's going to be a serious problem, and that's why I think you saw, importantly today, or this past week, both Credo and Move On and a lot of the progressive groups going out at the same time as the sort of Democratic Party was trying to make it all about the Buffett rule, saying, don't forget about the Bush tax cuts. Make sure that the Democrats don't, quote unquote, sell us out on the Bush tax cuts. And, you know, as an organization, Demos, we're actually supporting letting all of the Bush tax cuts expire. All of them, even for me and for middle class and working class families, and then we can start over with tax reform.
I do think there's some really important differences between now and when we extended those.
Please.
The first is that the economy is doing better, and as long as that continues to be true, we continue to have stronger economic growth, unemployment's coming down. We don't need those tax cuts the same way we really needed them the last time.
From a demand side perspective.
From a demand side. We didn't have enough stimulus to begin. We didn't pass enough stimulus to begin with, and the idea that we were going to let taxes go up, which would be contractionary fiscal policy, at that time was just deadly.
Right.
And now
it was a bluff you couldn't make. I mean, it was irresponsible because
you couldn't.
And it wasn't even just taxes, of course. It was extension of unemployment.
Exactly. That was exactly what I was going to say. The second point was we needed the extension of the unemployment insurance benefits. I mean, they were really crucial in terms of, you know, having bang for your buck. Nothing beats unemployment insurance dollar, because you put money in the unemployed's pockets and they go out and spend it, you know, that week. So we needed the extension. We needed the tax revenue. There was no way you could bluff it.
Betsy, what do you say to the conservatives who will say, well, if you raise taxes, you're going to put us right back into another recession. You're going to stop the expansion of the economy. How do you make that argument to people that it's not true?
Well, I think that part of the question here is that we do want to continue to invest in the economy, and I think this goes to, Chris, you're asking the right question.
You keep going to what's the money for?
Well, but it's also this question that the Republicans have now had a chance. I think President Obama genuinely believed that if they were invited to the table, and in fact, when if there was a sort of Damocles holding over the head, which was the issue of extending the debt ceiling, that there would be a grand bargain. That has been, they were given a chance after chance to do that. They blew it. There's discussion about whether it was Obama or Boehner, but everyone agrees it was Cantor, you know, kind of conversation. So if you've now tried that, and then you say, and again, this would not have been my approach. I would have taken a different approach from the president, but I think the president's belief over and over again was, if we give them a chance to rise to the occasion and be bipartisan, then we'll get the kind of deal the country needs. He's all out of that. There's no more plays to make, and this is a chance where I think that the Senate Democrats need to take a stand and say, here's what we think it is. If the Republicans continue to compromise not at all, things will fail, and then January 1, we get to have a conversation about the economy.
David, I think your question was, I mean, I find it kind of ironic, because those are the same guys who are telling me stimulus didn't work. So if they're going to tell me you can't cut, you can't raise taxes because that would hit aggregate demand, well, I welcome Republicans telling me that stimulus works.
Right, but let's be clear.
They're not stimulus.
Right.
Oh, yes, they are.
The conservatives, tax cuts are not stimulus.
No, they're savings.
Is what is it, like dead rabbits and bunnies, right?
That's right. Tax cuts are not. I mean, tax cuts are an ideological principle, and they are good economic policy, and they are not Keynesian demand side management. Although often that the case for tax cuts is made in the language of Keynesian demand side management, which Bush, of course, did. I want to talk about, since people are probably late to doing their taxes and are going to be doing them today and tomorrow, maybe while you are watching the program. We joked about having a live Twitter session where you tweet tax compliance questions to David K. Johnson, but it did not get clearance from legal for obvious reasons. Because people are going to be doing that, I want to talk about why it's so frustrating, annoying, and complex just to do one's taxes. The mechanics of the code and what it means for how we go about funding the government right after this.